We got it. Let's go. Boom.
All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us today. So in honor of Heart Health Month, which is February, we are going to dive into really heart health, cardiovascular disease, and ways to prevent it. Our heart is really, it's a muscle. It's our hardest working muscle in our body.
High energy demand.
We've got to take care of it. So when it comes to heart disease, it is the #1 killer, which is crazy. There's many risk factors that contribute to it, and 47% of Americans have at least one risk factor. That's maybe half of our population has at least one risk factor for heart disease, which is crazy. And it's very preventable. That's one major thing about it. And with it being that preventable, it still causes 20.5 million deaths per year. So it's a really crazy thing to think about this. Something we can actually prevent is causing so many deaths. And that's why it's really so important to highlight it, especially like this, push hard on it this month of February, is what we really can do to help prevent this. So I'm going to read you some of the risk factors, and there's a few others, but the main ones are unhealthy nutrition, poor diet, right? Physical inactivity, not moving your body, not exercising, obesity, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, smoking, and then there's also kidney dysfunction. And Ryan might elaborate on a few more, but basically with all those, the most important thing to do is know your numbers. Make sure you are getting regular checkups on this from your doctor so you can know where you stand and what you need to do.
I will say to that though, because that regular numbers thing and checkups, don't go simplify this a bit and get a blood pressure monitor for home.
Yeah, true.
Like, just know your numbers. Like I preached it on a previous Zoom that we did on cardiovascular health. And we think it's that important that we're doing it this February for Heart Month, because we want to continue to be sort of a voice of reason and common sense for how to help make people make better changes. But blood pressure monitor at home, $40-50 for a good one. Know your numbers. No excuse.
Right. You can even monitor your blood sugar at home. Simple finger prick. Like you don't have to only use that if you're diabetic. This is all about prevention. That's the goal here. Mm-hmm. So knowing your numbers is going to help you prevent these things from happening. I don't know, do you want to go into elaborate a little bit on that before I come back?
I do, but with the introduction, I know that a lot of it you said. I just want to reiterate a couple of key points to this. So atherosclerosis is what we're talking about, that buildup of plaque. It's a cholesterol or fat buildup in the artery. It's a thickening or a hardening of the artery. The problem with atherosclerosis, and we said this in the previous Zoom, is it is insidious. We don't really know it's happening, right? As a matter of fact, a third of people find out that they have atherosclerosis, this is a weird statistic, I don't even know how to put it, but a third suffer from sudden death without ever knowing that they had heart disease. So it's years and years in the making. And that's what we want to draw attention to. And like Lisa said, a lot of these preventable risk factors, they're so important to know, because they're so kind of easy to make simple, realistic, lifestyle changes.
Sure. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But we did a previous Zoom on it, and it was awesome. I thought it was great. We really did kind of dive into the blood pressure management aspect, which is really important. I don't know if we're going to go there today exactly, but I know that a lot of this is just a reminder to us all, because even Lisa and I, with a really nice, healthy nutrition plan, always can make small changes to make improvements.
Sure.
So awesome.
Some lifestyle changes. What you want to say, we have the pillars of health. Okay. Those are the biggest things. Yep. Supplementation, key player in it, but diet, exercise, or just healthy eating, right? Exercise. So daily, regular movement, stress management, proper sleep, proper hydration. Did I miss any?
No, that's what I said. Those are a great, easy reminder.
Right. And these are not major things. Like when you think about it, it's like, oh, duh. Okay. You eat healthy. You got to move your body. We got to get sleep. We can't be stressed, but you have to put effort into doing each one of them. One of the proven dietary patterns is the Mediterranean diet. It is so, it's touted for heart health all over the place. This really consists of eating fish, lean meats, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, healthy fats like olive oil. So important to have a diet based on that. And that's not a restrictive diet. So I don't want you to think of it as a diet. It's a healthy way of eating. But if you can just keep your choices in those categories. I mean, the Mediterranean diet has been proven to help what is it? Prevent or reduce heart disease by 33%. And some of the major, you can maybe elaborate on this, but some of the major drugs for heart disease are only proven to 25% to prevent heart disease by 25%. So it just shows how important lifestyle really, really, really is. Moving your body every day, 150 minutes of physical activity a week. It is doable by everybody. Even if it's just waking yourself up 20 minutes early so you can get 20 minutes of physical activity a day. Like, you just have to put the effort in. De-stressing will help you with some supplements that can help with de-stressing. Sleep, we have so many helpful supplements to help with sleep, but it is so important what happens during sleep. It's like we repair, we recover, like it's crucial. And it also prevents getting adequate sleep, prevents stress on our body too, right? So we're well rested. Hydration, getting that water in with the electrolytes, extremely important. Yeah, what else? Take from there.
Oh, there's a whole lot in that. Okay, yeah, awesome. But you basically just bounced around through everything. I'm going to back up for a second, say, like, how do we even know, like, how do we diagnose? How do we figure this thing out? Because we talked about blood pressure in the past. We just mentioned having a home blood pressure monitor, that's for sure. But like, there are no real good biomarkers for atherosclerosis. You can't really go and get a simple lab test to identify the level of, you know, plaque formation. So, but you certainly can go and get a full lipid panel, which can show your cholesterol numbers, lipoprotein A, apoproteins. So you really should be you should know like your LDL, you should know your HDL. You should know your thyroid function. You should know your iron levels, your ferritin levels. These are all like basic, simple biomarkers that absolutely should be known and tested on a routine basis. But so now that you have that information, you do really need to work on implementing some of these lifestyle strategies. You have to deploy something, even if it's making one change and documenting it for the week and just going. And like, if you want to just add one supplement in and document and just make sure that you're sticking to it and having some consistency to it to improve the dietary. I would mostly come back to the nutrition aspect of it. I'm almost always going to fall back into that, which includes dietary supplements, because again, supplements are a supplement to a diet, right? They're food-based ingredients. That's the nature of so that is really important for us. So that's why, like, when we talk about like the superreds, and Lisa says, well, it follows along with prescription drugs. A lot of the drugs follow a lot of the similar pathways too. So like, I guess I'm going to talk about supplements. I might as well just dive into that first, because each pillar has something that's relatable, and I think we can take something away from it. But for starters, I love the super reds because I really do think of this as probably the leading best way to provide cardiovascular support, because of the dietary nitrates and the antioxidants that are in here. You know, we all create free radicals that are reactive oxygen species. That's like the inflammatory sort of this is where an inflammatory process starts. There can be a good and bad part of that too, like where if you exercise hard, you can create a lot of reactive oxygen species and have some free radicals. But typically the body responds very quickly with antioxidants, and it neutralizes those and puts them to rest and really adapts to it. And so it overcomes it. But when we have these constant, if we're eating high diets high in processed foods, if we're eating a lot of baked goods, a lot of pastries, added sugars, if we're doing things that we know we shouldn't be doing like that, you're constantly insulting your body, and the body's having to work really extra hard, and it can deplete a lot of the reserves of antioxidants. That's why using something like the organic super reds is it's clutch. It's a good choice because of the ingredients like the aronia, the hawthorn, the pomegranate, the grapeseed extract. I mean, these are the red beet, yeah, of course, super high in antioxidants, but also the major contributors as a dietary nitrate to the nitric oxide pathway, which in essence, heart disease is a dysfunction of the endothelium, which is the inner lining of your blood vessel where it produces nitric oxide. Over time, we lose the ability to make nitric oxide. And it's an important signaling molecule because it opens up the blood vessels, it increases blood flow, which thereby reduces blood pressure. So a huge, it's a big cascade of events, but ultimately dietary nitrates are a great way to support that system.
Right, which shows just, again, as we age and something like nitric oxide decreases, we need to work on things, supplementing with them to help our body make more of it. Right?
Interesting, as you age. So the number one risk factor, of course, of heart disease is age. So can you control it? No, but can you make lifestyle changes to impact it? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's healthy aging. It's about healthy aging.
Yeah. Let me see, supplements, so what are we saying?
We went through super reds,
Yeah.
so let's go, the vitamin D.
Oh, let's do
Okay.
the daily essentials pack. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So I would really kind of point out magnesium. I think magnesium is important because it's such an important mineral for muscle, nerve, energy, conduction. So it does alter the membrane potential of the cell. So when your body is going through a contraction state or a cellular like muscle contraction state, magnesium is moving and shifting across membrane cell potential. So it is playing a very important role in our heart health. As a matter of fact, I say this a lot, but when you go into the hospital, if you're a pregnant woman and you're in the hospital with preeclampsia or high blood pressure, magnesium through IV is what they're typically administering because it's so effective. It can lower blood pressure, but it's a really great heart supplement over time, amongst many other things, since it's involved in like 300 biochemical reactions.
And stress.
And stress, of course, huge in the stress response. Definitely important in the sleep
And
category.
right.
Brain chemistry is huge. Because again, long-standing high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, we're talking about a metabolic dysfunction. So now we're talking about brain health. We're talking about sort of a precursor to Alzheimer's and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. But yeah, so once you start that cascade of having atherosclerosis, then you have sexual dysfunction and you've just got circulatory disorders. Then you have like a low capacity to exercise, and
It's like just the downward spiral.
It really is. And again, it's sort of one of those things where we have to make these changes, small changes early, and be aware of it.
Yes.
Be aware. Vitamin D3, K2, we know it's not only just a vitamin involved in bone health, but in the kidney, converts to a hormone. So it plays a very important, not only just in bone, but that's where it's mostly been, but immune health, immune support, and heart function, and energy, and immune, I already said that. But there's a lot of function in the D3, K2 world. Did you want to comment
And what
on that?
about the K, the blood thinning?
Yeah, well, of course, vitamin K itself is part of the blood clotting process. So you need to have a normal balance of vitamin K, which you typically would find in green leafy vegetables and things of that nature. But in this example, K was really more designed to help increase the utilization of calcium along with D for bone health and immune support. But yes, absolutely important function there as well. Factor 4 is it? Should I go? Actually, no. So let me stay daily essentials pack. So D, mag, and then the multi, the women and men's multi. So another level you should have checked, I said thyroid, iron, ferritin, lipid panel. Should also have your homocysteine levels checked. Typically, people are low in homocysteine or high in homocysteine, sorry, is because they lack the proper B vitamins. And
especially folate.
Especially folate, yeah. Folate, B12. You really have to make sure, and you really want to make sure you're getting a decent methylated form of folate and B12, which is exactly what we put in here. But homocysteine levels, guys, you can Google it, you can research it, well documented. And you have all your B vitamins in the multi, as well as some other important antioxidants. You have iron, again, in the women's, in the men's, you have a lycopene for prostate support. Anyway, so there's a lot of benefits in here because it fills in any of the nutrient gaps. It can really help with some of those micronutrient deficiencies that can be there, especially, and I'll close with this, but especially if you're on a prescription drug. Many prescription drugs deplete the body. It's called drug-induced nutrient depletion.
Which we also have a whole Zoom on that.
Whole Zoom on it, but many drugs will deplete the body of key vitamins and minerals and nutrients. So keep that in mind. And last but certainly not least is factor 4. But factor 4 is cool because, like I said earlier, you want to know your lipid panel, you want to know your HDL, you want to know your LDL, you want to know your triglycerides, your lipoproteins. So you, with this, we know that there's a qualified health claim, the FDA supports it, that using omega-3 fatty acids can decrease it can raise our HDL and it can decrease our triglycerides, primarily taking down those triglycerides, which out of control high triglycerides, we know is a problem. There's actually a prescription drug on the market for that same exact purpose.
Right.
So not only is there omega-3 fatty acids in here.
Well, omega-3s, they also, I mean, they help prevent blood clots and plaque buildup. All in all.
Yeah, it's through the lipid. It manages your lipids.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like I get a lot of questions about like, what do I do for plaque buildup? And it's almost like reversing, like, well, that has to do with the cholesterol building up. And then, I mean, it's a whole full circle. And then the blood pressure increasing because they can't get through. And
there's an anti-inflammatory component to it, since again, going back to atherosclerosis, we're talking about some plaque formation on the inside of an artery. What is that? Why does that start? It's an inflammatory process.
Mhm.
Is it reactive oxygen species? What is that insult that has caused it to get sticky and stuck on the inside of the artery? It's inflammation, but why? So this is considered an anti-inflammatory in many aspects because at about 1 gram of EPA and DHA, and there's like 600 milligrams per soft gel. So your first 2 soft gels will be about 1.2 grams. So that in itself, that will start to have that anti-inflammatory effect. At about 3,000 milligrams or 6 soft gels, which would be 3,600 milligrams or 3.6 grams. At 6 soft gels, you would start to have that very drastic reduction of triglycerides. Anyway, so that's something to keep in mind, but the omega-3s really, really important. Anchovy-based, clean fish, tested, good to go there. And then we have, of course, curcumin as an anti-inflammatory. It's a very potent Ayurvedic medicine. It's really, really good for so many aspects of heart health. Then you have CoQ10, which CoQ10, major player as far as it could, as even just as an antioxidant. But of course, we know that it's a cofactor in many biological functions, which can or may or may not be depleted using a statin drug, which if you're talking about cholesterol, you're talking about atherosclerosis, the first line is usually, providers are usually trying to say, start your statin drug. This would be very beneficial for those of you that are taking statins. And then garlic, and I know I'm missing one.
Well, black pepper, but that's just.
Garlic. Oh, maybe I got it.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Awesome. So yeah, that's that.
And then just a few of the amino acids,
Right.
arginine and citrulline, especially, that help with the nitric oxide, also dilation of the blood vessels. Very important for heart health. Also, I was reading, about glutamine and carnitine also play a role in it. So that's all in our essential aminos. And then a few other things throwing in. I mean, our super greens, because this helps with your stress response with the ashwagandha in it. So it's kind of funny, like we want to talk about, heart health, but then it comes, it really comes full circle. We talk about healthy eating, making sure you're having a proper diet, getting lean meats, enough protein. Then you throw in our protein powder. So again, it's really the whole big package of what LiveGood offers that's going to help with your lifestyle changes to help in the prevention of heart disease. And also, if one does have heart disease, guys, parts of it are reversible. You need to work with your doctors about the proper supplementation and balance of medication, and hopefully change your lifestyle and start to wean off or just decrease your medications. It can be done.
Well, guys, all right, yeah, we're almost 20 minutes in.
questions?
Yeah, no, we'll look at a few questions. It's a personal issue for me. My dad died of sudden death due to cardiac arrest. So completely understand this process. I think we all probably know or have someone that we know that is dealing with heart disease. So, oh yeah, here you go, David. Same thing. Your father had a stroke, and I'm telling you, man, I know. I could feel for you on that. We're gonna keep blasting through a few of these questions.
And then it's, when it says though, like 80% of cardiovascular disease, including heart disease and stroke, is preventable. Just keep that in mind. Like we all know somebody that's really been heavily hit by heart disease, maybe passed away from heart disease.
Yeah.
And then you have to look at yourself and your loved ones that are present and think about how preventable something is. So you've got to put the effort in.
Yes.
Got to put the effort in.
Yeah, I agree. Best vitamins for high blood pressure from Valerie. It's just like everything we've really kind of just said. I mean, if anything, you would start with a daily essentials pack and add your factor 4. So you'd have D, mag, the multi, and your factor 4. But the super reds is cardiovascular support. But again, you're saying for high blood pressure, know your numbers, exactly what your numbers are. If your numbers are stage 2 or and are in a high stage 2 levels, which there's a specific range, then you might need some medical intervention or extreme dietary changes, right? Like dietary advice from a registered dietitian, not a bad idea, or incorporating more physical exercise, well, in addition to. All right, let's keep going here, guys. Calcium will never be, so I got a question here. Calcium will never be added to the vitamins, but they will come out in the form of a bone support supplement. I recognize calcium plays an important role, not just in bone health, but yes, in other functions. It was intentionally left out of the multivitamin because of its issues with chelation competing for absorption. And quite frankly, people should have control over their calcium. All right. Quality of the B12, agreed. Thank you, Christina. I know, I absolutely agree with that. A lot of people, my father needed more B12 and resisted it significantly. He was trying to do the injections, but it failed miserably. But yeah, big time B12 deficiency, homocysteine levels, get those checked, guys. It's a big one.
And we've talked about this too with bees. If you're a poor methylator, which I am, you have to make sure you're taking even more. So just another part of like, know your numbers, know your history, know what's going on. Very important.
Hey, Julie, question is, would it be worth starting when you've already had a stroke? Yes, of course. If you had a stroke and you survived the stroke, then of course, lifestyle changes is really the primary thing you should be doing in addition to whatever other medical advice you're receiving, but supplementation for sure. Can you have too much supplements for your cardiovascular? Yes, of course, Jackie. Yeah, I think that you need to be careful with your supplements. And if you have questions on other supplements you're taking or want to know if there's any kind of known interactions, I'd be happy to help you with that. But yes, you can take too much. I'm not suggesting like an upper limit here. I mean, on the omega-3 fatty acid, you would do it based on the omegas, would probably be like, gosh, it's actually really high. The upper limit's high. You wouldn't even really make it there just because it'd probably give you more GI upset. But it's 4 grams would be as much as you possibly need to go, which would be basically 8 soft gels per day. Dwayne, yes, you asked about a fiber supplement.
Yeah, fiber is also very important.
Very
with
important.
heart health. Yes, and we will. I mean, we do have fiber in the coffee, but we will be having a fiber supplement. Yeah.
Yeah. Those with diabetes, factor 4, okay. Well, I'm assuming those with diabetes are checking their numbers. So anytime you start anything, a new supplement, a different food, whatever it is, you should be really kind of OCD over your diabetes and your numbers. So monitor your numbers, see what happens when you start it, and just check your numbers, know your numbers. But yes,
yeah, it's for information.
Diabetics absolutely should be taking omega-3 fatty acids. What are the ideal numbers? So, Tina, you can easily Google, you can see what normal blood pressure is, which is typically, I mean, 120 over 80 and below. So 120 over 80. And then you have stage 1 and then you have stage 2. Oh, what am I drinking? Hey, Terry, I'm drinking the collagen. It has this color just because of the antioxidants that are in there. It is unflavored. This is no artificial ingredients. Love the collagen. Another good one to support there's a lot of collagen. Obviously, it's the most abundant protein in our body, but it's also present in our vasculature. It's in our arteries and our veins. So again, the connective tissue. So again, probably a very good supplement for heart health. You seen it?
Now, remember, as always, if your question doesn't get answered, maybe it's because it doesn't pertain to the topic right here. Please email lisa@livegood.com. I can help you with that. Yeah. Someone's asking about skipping meals. Maybe if something is a meal replacement, taking the superreds, not a meal. I mean, there's 10 calories in the superreds. No.
Hey, David, you're asking for a routine. Last week, actually, it's on YouTube now. We did this Monday Zoom on routine. And I definitely check that out if you get a chance. I think that's a good one.
Yes, Ryan and I each gave our routines, and we take every single one of our supplements. So
the question I'm only answering, the question is, there's caffeine in your coffee? Yes, there's 100 milligrams of caffeine in the coffee. And I answered it because you want to be cognizant of the fact that some stimulants like caffeine can raise blood pressure,
yeah.
Short-term raise, but if you have out of control, like uncontrolled high blood pressure, then caffeine would be a no-go. But again, controlled, you know it, you know your numbers. All right, guys. Good job today.
Yes.
A little bit of a slow start. I love this topic. It's personal, it's informative. There's so many ways that you can have positive changes in your daily routine.
And again, reiterating again, the fact that it is highly preventable. I feel like that is one of the main reasons why I love this topic so much, is how prevalent heart disease is, but how preventable it is. So we all have got to do our part and take care of our heart.
I know it, guys, some question here. I know it says a LiveGood proprietary blend, but that's not actually, right below it is the breakdown of everything that's in the blend. We're not hiding it. Proprietary in this example just means that that's the formula that I came up with.
Yeah, it's our blend.
And that is everything. Before I go, I just want to leave you with the drug-induced nutrient depletion comment. Most people that get diagnosed with high blood pressure typically go on a diuretic or a water pill, and the first thing that they lose is magnesium and some potassium and some other very important minerals for heart health. So be very cognizant of that. And you should supplement. You should definitely be supplementing. And the same with the statin drug. There's other medications. We did a Zoom on drug-induced nutrient depletion, so please check it out. Please feel free to email us. I will actually give you my personal take on what you might be deficient in based on the medications that you take. So,
Yep.
guys, thank you for watching. Lisa, you want to close it?
Thank you guys. Take care. And like I just said, my little rhyme, do your part and take care of your heart. Have a great day.
All right, see y'all.